Don't just roast eggplant the usual way anymore. Today, I'm going to show you a method that's incredibly addictive right now. At restaurants, a dish like this can sell for nearly $15 a plate, but making it at home is surprisingly affordable and just as delicious. The outside turns golden, fragrant, and slightly crispy, while the inside stays soft and juicy. One bite and the flavor of the eggplant blending with all the ingredients is unbelievably satisfying. This dish is not only tasty, but also very nutritious. Both adults and kids love it. Make sure to watch until the end, because the recipe is very simple, but the final result tastes far better than you'd expect. First, prepare a few eggplants with a balanced size. Then rinse them thoroughly. It's nice to know that we see each other all over the world. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, you can subscribe by clicking the subscribe button. It's great to see your support. Next, cut off the stems of the eggplants. Then slice them into slightly thick, round pieces, about 1 centimeter thick. Don't slice them too thin, because the eggplant can become overly soft during cooking and won't hold its shape well. Try to cut evenly so the pieces cook uniformly, and it's easier to control that beautiful golden color when pan frying. Arrange the eggplant slices neatly on the cutting board. Next, use a tool to remove the center flesh, or cut the neck of a plastic bottle to make a simple scooping tool. Or you can simply use a spoon to gently scoop out the middle of each eggplant slice, creating little rings ready to be filled with stuffing. At this point, the eggplant already looks so appetizing, doesn't it? Eggplant is a vegetable that's especially suitable for summer because it contains plenty of fiber and a high amount of water, giving it a soft, light, and refreshing texture without feeling greasy. Most importantly, eggplant absorbs seasoning extremely well. The longer it cooks, the more fragrant and flavorful it becomes. That's also why so many restaurant eggplant dishes feel incredibly comforting and satisfying with rice. Next, place the eggplant rings into a bowl of clean water to soak temporarily. This small step helps prevent the eggplant from oxidizing and turning dark while you prepare the other ingredients. Next, let's prepare the eggplant flesh we just removed. First, slice it thinly. Then cut it into thin strips. Where are you watching from? Please leave a comment to let me know. Finally, dice it into very small cubes. Try to work fairly quickly so the eggplant doesn't oxidize and turn dark. Cutting it this small also helps the filling bind together more easily after mixing, making it much softer and more flavorful when eaten. Once finished, place it into a large bowl and set aside. Next, prepare 100 grams of carrot. Wash it, peel the skin, then slice it very thinly. The thinner it is, the faster it cooks, and the better the texture will be. Then cut it into thin strips. And finally dice it into very small cubes. Carrot has a naturally mild sweetness that helps make the filling more balanced and less greasy. Besides that, the bright orange color mixed with the eggplant also makes the dish look much more appetizing. After cutting, add it into the bowl with the eggplant. Next, prepare 70 grams of onion. Also slice it thinly. Then, dice it into small cubes. When cooked, onion releases a natural sweetness and a very distinctive aroma, helping the filling become richer without needing too much seasoning. The moisture from the onion also helps keep the filling soft and juicy after pan frying. Once chopped, add it into the bowl. Next, prepare about 50 grams of pork. Slice it thinly. Then, finely chop it into minced meat. A little pork adds a natural richness and savory flavor to the filling, making it softer and more flavorful. Combined with the eggplant and vegetables, the dish tastes balanced, delicious, and not greasy at all. Add the minced pork into the bowl. Finally, prepare a little green onion and chop it finely. Green onion not only adds extra aroma, but also makes the filling look fresher and more appealing after cooking. Add everything into the same bowl to prepare for mixing the filling. At this point, we can start seasoning the filling. Add 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper to enhance the aroma, 1/4 teaspoon of seasoning powder for a richer flavor, 2 tablespoons of light soy sauce, and 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce. This seasoning combination helps make the filling fragrant and flavorful while still preserving the natural sweetness of the vegetables and eggplant. Next, use a spatula or chopsticks to mix everything thoroughly so all the ingredients blend evenly together. Try to mix for at least about 1 minute so the meat and vegetables begin to bind lightly together. This will help the filling stay delicious and hold together better when pan-fried. After mixing well, crack 1 egg into the bowl and continue stirring until evenly combined. Don't skip this step, because even just 1 egg makes a huge difference. The egg helps keep the filling softer and more moist after cooking, helps the vegetables naturally bind together with the meat, and also gives the filling a fluffy, tender texture instead of becoming dry or dense. Once fried, the filling will taste noticeably richer, more fragrant, and much more delicious. Next, add a few tablespoons of flour. Then continue mixing well. But remember to add it gradually while observing the texture of the mixture. Why not pour it all in at once? Because each type of vegetable releases a different amount of moisture. If you add too much flour, the filling will become dry and hard. On the other hand, if there's too little, the mixture will be too loose, difficult to shape, and may fall apart during frying. The ideal texture is slightly thick and lightly sticky, not too dense and not too runny. Once the mixture reaches a texture like this, it's perfect. At this point, the filling already smells incredibly fragrant and appetizing. Set it aside while preparing for the next step. Next, prepare a pan. Add a little cooking oil, then use a brush to spread it evenly across the surface of the pan so the eggplant will turn beautifully golden when pan-fried and won't burn unevenly. Turn the heat to low. Remove the eggplant rings from the water and let them drain well, then gently arrange them neatly in the pan. At this point, the eggplant looks like little rings, ready to be filled with the rich and fragrant stuffing inside. Next, use a spoon to place the mixed filling into the center of each eggplant ring. Don't overfill them. Just level with the surface is enough, so the filling cooks evenly and keeps a nice shape while frying. After filling them, sprinkle a little toasted sesame seed on top. Once heated, the sesame seeds release a very distinctive nutty aroma that makes the dish even more fragrant. Those tiny sesame seeds also make the surface look much more appetizing. Now cover the pan with a lid and cook over low heat for about 4 to 5 minutes. While cooking, the eggplant will slowly soften, and the filling inside will begin releasing an incredibly rich and savory aroma. In just a few minutes, the entire kitchen will already smell amazing. Once the time is up, open the lid and gently flip them over. At this point, you'll see the bottom has turned a beautiful golden brown, while the edges of the eggplant are lightly caramelized and slightly charred, incredibly appetizing to look at. Throughout the entire cooking process, remember to always keep the heat low. Low heat allows the eggplant to soften gradually while preserving its natural sweetness, and helps the filling cook through gently without becoming dry. Cover again and continue cooking for another 3 to 5 minutes, and it's done. These pan-fried stuffed eggplant cakes look absolutely irresistible at this point. Just looking at them already makes you hungry, doesn't it? The outside is lightly golden and fragrant, while the soft, juicy eggplant wraps around the generous filling inside. The slightly charred surface releases the aroma of meat, onion, and toasted sesame all blending together beautifully. When you pick one up, you'll notice the eggplant is soft while still holding its shape nicely without falling apart. When you take a bite, the eggplant becomes so soft it almost melts in your mouth, naturally sweet and soaked with all the flavorful juices from the filling inside. The filling itself is tender, moist, and richly seasoned without being dry, combining the light richness of the meat with the natural sweetness of the vegetables. The best part is how naturally all the flavors come together. Not overly greasy, yet the more you eat, the more fragrant and satisfying it becomes. This dish is absolutely perfect with hot rice, but it's also delicious enough to enjoy on its own without being able to stop eating. A dish that's both beautiful and comforting. Just seeing it on the table already gives that warm feeling of a homemade family meal. If you love eggplant, you really should try making it this way at least once. There's a good chance you won't want to just stir fry or roast eggplant the old way anymore after this. The video ends here. If you have any comments, please leave a comment below. If you find the video interesting, please give me a like. Don't forget to share it with your relatives and friends. Remember to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your support. Goodbye. See you in the next video.